भद्रं कर्णैभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Let us now pray together. We offer our salutations to the all-loving being who endows all beings with consciousness. We meditate on the Lord, who is the origin of the universe. Lord, Thou abidest in all, Thou art all, Thou assumest all forms. Thou art the origin and goal of all. Thou art the self of all. Thou art existence, knowledge and bliss. Salutations unto Thee. May the world be peaceful. May the wicked become gentle. May all creatures think of mutual welfare. May their minds be occupied with what is spiritual and abiding. May our hearts be immersed in selfless love for the Lord. Peace, peace, peace be unto all. Let us think of the essential unity of everything. Let us feel we all are like different animal crackers. Everything, everyone, all different entities. I can see the difference is only in shape and the name acquired due to that shape. The essence, the content is same in all. That sameness is God. The source of everything. The resource for bliss and peace that we seek. It is here that we feel oneness. It is here that we feel love. It is here that we feel the life eternal. Om, peace, peace, peace. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Today we shall be discussing very important teaching given by Jesus through this parable of prodigal son. As Jesus mentioned that he teaches through parables. In fact, not he, everybody, all great teachers, they have used parables to teach. That metaphor used is to reflect that how we can bring the spirit of forgiveness, elimination of guilt, and then the main important thing is embrace of God in whatever way we are. Yes, God is there to accept us. This idea is very important to remember. There is the principle of justice, that yes, you do something and then yes, you will have to accordingly get the results too. The law of karma is a very strict law. It is, we make many mistakes and then suffer for that. And then we see, well, what can be done? I did this wrong, so I am suffering. But then there is a law of grace. It cannot be called law because it doesn't fit into the cause-effect idea. But there is this underlying oneness that comes up very strongly against this idea that, okay, I reap as I sow, okay. But then there is a principle about that. That principle of oneness, the principle of divine grace, the divine embrace. God takes us with love, even if we have not lived maybe the righteous life, even if we have done many bad things, even if we have rebelled against the God, still there is this God awaiting us, awaiting our coming to Him. And this story illustrates that. It is a very well-known story in the book of Luke. And let us read a little bit how Jesus tells this. That a certain man had 2 sons, and the younger of them said to his father, "Father, give me the portion of goods that falls to me." So he divided to them his livelihood. And not many days after, the younger son gathered all together, journeyed to a far country, and there wasted his possessions with prodigal living. But when he had spent all, there arose a severe famine in that land, and he began to be in want. Then he went and joined himself to a citizen of that country, and he sent him into his fields to feed the swine. And he would gladly have filled his stomach with the pods that the swine ate, and no one gave him anything. But when he came to himself, he said, "How many of my father's hired servants have bread enough and to spare, and I perish with hunger? I will arise and go to my father and will say to him, 'Father, I have sinned against heaven and before you, and I am no longer worthy to be called your son. Make me like one of your hired servants.' And he rose and came to his father. But when he was still a great way off, his father saw him and had compassion, and ran and fell on his neck and kissed him. And the son said to him, 'Father, I have sinned against heaven and in your sight, and am no longer worthy to be called your son.' But the father said to his servants, 'Bring out the best robe and put it on him, and put a ring on his hand and sandals on his feet, and bring the fattened calf here and kill it, and let us eat and be merry. For this my son was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found.' And they began to be merry. So, the younger son, he wanted his share of property, did not want to live with the father. He therefore took all the possessions that belonged to his share and ran, and then, as you heard, he wasted all that money on just some merriment, happy-go-lucky living, and so forth. And then what does it take for the money to be over? It was over in thrice, and then he was left with nothing. And so he suffered, and then he started comparing, he started thinking. When we do something bad, and when the results of that start coming to us, we start thinking, "Oh my goodness, but is there a way out now? See, what a bad situation I have now come to face. I am just rotting here. So difficult. But can I now walk back my path? Can I go back to my father that, 'Hey, look, Father, I am sorry, I have sinned. I agree that not that I am going to argue that, it is, but no, I agree. I have come with the sense of repentance, and I am now understanding the justice that, I am no longer worthy of being your son.' He is acknowledging that I am not worthy of being your son, but maybe you can take some compassion on me and make me one of your servants, so that at least I will have some livelihood, something to eat, something to go by. Yes, please. He just requested that. But then see the parable that the son, when he was away, the father saw him from a distance and runs towards him. The inner unity, as it were, is doing this. This is now what the father could have done, could have thought that, well, this fellow quarreled with me, quarreled with his brother, took away his share from the family and ran, and now seems that he has wasted everything. He deserves to rot like that. No, Father is not seeing what has been done. Father is not seeing the deed, but the doer, A problem that we all face just in the that class in the morning that I gave for Connecticut, this topic had come, that it is the doer remains the same, the deeds change, like the shapes change, but the substance remains same. In animal crackers we saw that we know this, that the shapes change, a person changes, our size changes, shape changes from childhood. If you see from infanthood as we grow, the shape changes. The things that we do change. Our understanding changes, our opinions change. But something that does not change, and that is common to all, that is divine. Now, when we see what did not change, go deep and see that is the only thing that does not change. It is that is the real thing. So when that comes out, that fear goes away, the idea of sin goes away, the idea of wrongdoing goes away. It is so important to see this, that when you see that somebody has been separated from me, my own, but separated from me, is coming back. Now that the oneness inspires love, that feeling when you move the shapes away, that oneness is felt, and that oneness inspires love, and thus Father is not thinking of what he had done, but what this younger son actually is his own, say, flesh and blood, my own, and thus goes to embrace him with great joy. It is said in this, not exactly in this context per se, but a very commonly said thing that, well, when you take a step towards God, God takes 10 steps towards you. This step, don't count this step, but the idea that the younger son, this prodigal son had, that, well, I want to go back to my father. I will be just working as a servant there. I am not worthy. He is aware of that. But then, with that one step that he has taken, the father forgets everything that he had rebelled. He had given him a lot of physical and mental problems. He is coming back now. He rushes towards him. Imagine this scene, Think now in the parable that we are the ones who have separated ourselves from our divine origin, from the God that dwells within us, and then have become tuned only to our shape, and then are wasting our life adhering to that shape only. That there we are separated from our Father, the God. It is our origin. And thus we suffer here. The life lived of body comes to an end. That is what is meant here when all the possessions taken by this younger son came to an end. This physical life, how long it lasts? Very little. And then we are staring at the death coming. It is horrible. What can be done? What can how can I be saved? Well, the God is still awaiting us. Remember that howsoever far we may go away from God, we cannot go away really, because God is everywhere and God still loves us. To know that God still, constantly, always, irrespective of what we are doing, we can never go away from God. God always loves us. Just turn, and there you can see God awaiting our return. It is. And what is the meaning of return? To learn to lead a life with the awareness of our inner divinity, and not the awareness of our being just body. The disidentification with body is, and identification with spirit, that is the first step that we should try to take. I want to disidentify with body because I really am not that. We can easily see this. We are not body. Just a little analysis can tell us that the body is shifting, changing continuously. It is just the food processed. What else is that? Am I that? I am not that. I am not the broccoli and cabbage and that I ate. It is, I am the spirit. I am not body. Now this, holding on to this awareness is certainly difficult, but God knows that. But just this acknowledgement is a first step that we take towards our true nature, the God, our indwelling reality. This is something that is not very much preached in the Christian theology. The God in heaven is preached a lot, but God as our indwelling reality, that is, we have to think in that term, that is, I am not this body. As body, there is no escape from sin, friends. We will be, as we hold on to body, I and you. And then I and you, there is fear from the you. Always. The love between the two bodies. Well, where is the love? It attracts the biological attractions, they are not, that is not really love. It comes and goes quickly. In fact, gets turned into some kind of hatred, or that I don't want, and so forth. It is, but when you look at the inner substance, then there is the scope for love. That is how the life has to begin. Then we live in God. We at least start making attempt to live with God. So that is the value that we have, is that God is in us. Otherwise it is all trash, friends. So this parable illustrates just that yes, God is there to receive us with all love. In fact, the love that was kind of held back for these years, because the son had sinned, wronged, and went away and did and wasted these things. The life was not a virtuous life that he was leading. Now, therefore, the love was kept in check. There was a dam, a barrier that was holding the love for a long time. So it was getting accumulated, it was under a lot of pressure. Now, the son is coming back. So now the dam, as it were, broke, and all that love that was held there, just rushed forward. Nothing was reduced. The father did not even speak of hey, you did like this, remember? No. The son is saying that, but not the father. Father is just busy welcoming him with everything that is good available for him. He is giving him good robes, the jewelry, the food to eat, a very warm welcome. Come back, you are my own. You are my own. Forget, he didn't even hint that, okay, you want to be my servant? These are the conditions. Sign the contract form. No. Nothing like that. You are my very own. You are my son. So we have to think of that love of God, who is constantly waiting for us to get out of this dazzled, dizzy state that we are in Maya. That is, we are in this dazzlement. All these external things, they seem to be real. That glittering keeps on inviting us. But as we fall prey to them, we forget our true nature. But that nature is still there, waiting for us. Now the principle of justice comes to this older son. He is feeling when the father calls him, hey, come, rejoice, your brother has come. But the older son is set on the shapes, not seeing the inner oneness. He says that he had wronged us. He ran away, wasted his life, wasted so much of my dad's money. And he is come back. How can I now just embrace him? No, he was upset with his father. Now, and I am quoting again, now his older son was in the field, and as he came and drew near to the house, he heard music and dancing. So he called one of the servants and asked what these things meant. And he said to him, "Your brother has come, and because he has received him safe and sound, your father has killed the fattened calf for the party, for the feast." But he was angry and would not go in. He did all this. See, I have been your faithful servant. His pleading on the basis of, law and justice and karma, that I had been always with you, I worked for you, I was loyal to you, I was working in the fields and did everything that you told me. I did not rebel against you. And look what happens. But he was angry and would not go in to join the feast and welcome his younger brother. Therefore his father came out and pleaded with him. So he answered and said to his father, "Lo, these many years," with indignation and that bruised ego, he says, "Look, these many years I have been serving you. I never transgressed your commandment at any time, and yet you never gave me a young goat, let alone calf. You never gave me a young goat that I might make merry with my friends. But as soon as this son of yours came, who has devoured your livelihood with harlots, you killed the fattened calf for him." Look at the injustice. The principle of justice, as we understand it. And that was a great advancement by Jesus over what is called the golden rule, that a tooth for a tooth and an eye for an eye and all that. Jesus said, "You heard this, but I say unto you, love thy enemy, love those who have been hurting you, love those who wronged you. If somebody hits you a slap on the left cheek, turn the other to him." So that is a great advancement. It does not come with our worldly understanding of, you do and get the result of what you do. There is no connection between what you did and what you are getting, because there is a region where this becomes applicable. In the human courts of law, this will become applicable. In human society, it will be considered, yes, this fellow did wrong, should be punished. But God transcends all such laws. There is no saying that, well, what past bad deed he had done. He might have, certainly, and he has suffered for that, he is repenting, whatever. But my love does not get barred by that. It is, I am going to treat him by the overpouring of my love. So this is something that is you can call it a real miracle that transcends the law. The meaning of miracle is not that some magical show, but this is something, a transcendence of law. What is the miracle? Where something that by logic should be happening, it is not happening. In fact, something quite opposite is happening. Why? Because it is the law is applicable to the shapes, to the fragmented understanding of reality, the truth of I and you, the relative. But then the inner substance, that oneness, that is not under any law. And so that is just, it comes up. That is the idea of total forgiveness. That what that person does, how that person is, what bad things he has done, and that all gets now pushed away. Because the inner substance did not do anything bad. That is same in virtuous and vicious. It is same in good and evil. There it is not different. Therefore it doesn't get affected by this law where the separation is at work. Here the oneness is at work. Let us feel that. That is why the lives see so many miracles. That it is, please don't misunderstand me, friends. I am not saying so we should not care to do good things. Sometimes the wrong idea is taken up from that parable. Okay, so if I have sinned, I unnecessarily wasted my life in doing good things. I should have been sinful, more sinful, so that I would be a recipient of the grace of God. That is not the meaning of this at all. But even if you have sinned, and who doesn't sin, tell me, friends? It is the sense of being different from God is a sin. That is the sin that makes you eat the fruit of knowledge. The fruit of the tree of knowledge in the Garden of Eden. Till then you were fine. But when the idea of difference comes, that is the tree of knowledge. This knowledge means knowledge of differentiation. Then, whether you are doing so-called good things or bad things. See, there are, we may say we are all good people because no police cases have been registered against us. Is that enough to be a good person? It is. The law does not tell you, the common human law that is forced by what is therefore called law enforcing agencies. So they don't tell you to do something charitable. They tell you only not to steal, not to murder and such things. But you see, there are ways. We know in society, so many people, they have fine-tuned the act of robbing to such an extent that they are considered great people in society. They are put in high places on the political ladder and so forth. Also, they become very rich and respected. People, they have been doing wrong things, bad things, sinning against the other people. But what it means is that our actions here, they will bear their own fruit. That's okay. But the love of God is never withheld from us because of that. And when the elder brother said this, Look, son, you are always with me, and all that I have is yours. It was right that we should make merry and be glad, for your brother was dead and is alive again, and was lost and is found. That is why we should rejoice that here is somebody who has now got the inkling of the reality. He wants to unite with the true nature. He tells another parable there, that suppose that somebody has, say, 100 sheep. A shepherd has 100 sheep, and then somehow one ran away from the flock, and then will he not go to find him out, leaving his 99 other sheep there? He would go and search to find out that one lost sheep. And how joyous will he be when he finds that, this is my lost sheep I found. So, this is your brother was lost, and now he is found. So this is time to rejoice. The elder son was not ready to take all this. It is because his mind was glued to separation. I, the good, that guy, the bad. When we are holding on to this, then even though the society may call good, we are bad really, because we are holding on to the changing separation rather than the unchanging oneness. So this is how the things have to shift. That makes us truly religious, to make this shift. That is the real inner conversion. Conversion to lead a godly life, a life that is tuned to our divine oneness rather than the empirical, constantly shifting and changing separateness. This is, you see, in Bhagavad Gita as well. This idea is stressed in the 9th chapter, that God says that even if somebody is doing bad, he uses very strong words there, Lord Krishna, that api chetsu duracharo bhajate mam ananya bhag. Maybe somebody is suduracharo, means has been doing so many terribly bad things, very, very bad things. Now, bhajate mam ananya bhag, makes a shift, turns the attention not to the shape, but to the inner truth. Now it changes. Everything changes. Like the animal crackers, assuming that somebody, the people are, they like to eat those, they love the taste. Now if they are loving the taste, but are thinking, no, that lion I hate. Okay, but forget the shape and put it in the mouth to see how the essence. Now it is joyous, it is sweet, it is worthy to be eaten. After all, these shapes, if you look at them, they are just not real. Our likes and dislikes for them is not the proper thing. So, this is how the life shifts. And Lord Krishna says, api chetsu duracharo, maybe has done many, many bad things in life. but now is worshipping me with single-minded devotion, has come to me. Then he says, sadhureva samantavyaha, that person should be considered as a saint. That is the difference between saint and sinner, friends. How you are leading your life. Past, forget it. Deeds you did, there is a very nice book by a theologian, Miroslav Wolf, from this University of Yale. He is from Croatia, and his writings have been praised a lot. His very much talked about book is Exclusion and Embrace, where he picks up this story too, that the story of prodigal son. That here the prodigal son is not having any hope that I will get accepted by my father as his son. But look what happens. This is the divine law, that you turn to God, and he says this is how the idea that the exclusion, I and you, that this is mine, that's yours. This idea is actually wrong, and that gives rise to all types of sin, either committed physically or thought of mentally. It is, so this is the idea of exclusion. No, they and we, I and you gets just enlarged as instead of I and you, we and they. We the good people, they the bad people. It is all really hurting the inner joy in us. We will remain miserable whether we are doing externally the so-called good things or so-called bad things. Therefore, the point is, Lord Krishna says, sadhureva samantavyaha, that person is to be counted as the saint, not as the sinner. And the love poured by God. A man can forgive the other person that, okay, I forgive you, I don't hold anything against you. You have repented, and so I don't want to hold anything against you. That's it. I am forgiving you. But that forgiveness is not same as the divine forgiveness, because this human forgiveness fails to remove that feeling of guilt. We had discussed that earlier also in one of that class on this Sunday talk on forgiveness, that it is we are not able to remove the guilt like in this prodigal son. Although, well, you are welcome, but the prodigal son still will have that, oh, I did this bad, I did this wrong. That guilt would be there. That guilt again connects to what? To the unreal shape and not to the divine. And therefore, the God, the Father, is not even mentioning that you are back, that's it, I love you. Concentrate on that one. Sadhureva samantavyaha, that person is to be considered as saint. It is, one need not invoke what bad we did in past. No, you are saint, that's it. It is, if somebody gives some poison in a cup, Poison is poured in the cup. Now that can be called a cup of poison, not because of the cup, but because of the content. Now you wash the cup and now fill honey in it, milk in it. Now that very cup, can it now be called a cup of poison? No, this is the mistake we do. We associate the past with the present. Like here in Providence, we tell that, where is this place? I want to go there. Where is it? Oh, where there used to be a Dunkin' Donut. Now the Dunkin' Donut is not there. Just on the Thayer Street when I arrived, there was a Dunkin' Donut just at 5 minutes walk maybe. But it is no more there, but the address will be told, where there used to be Dunkin' Donut. So it is, now that has changed. So do not refer to that. That is now past, gone. Now this person is now that cup doesn't have any poison. Don't hesitate to drink from it because the cup never become poison. It was the content that was poisonous, and that is the poison is the separation. I am different from you, depending on the shapes, friends. I am separate from you, depending on the shapes. But when you look at our inner spirit, well, then we are filling this cup with the nectar. Yes, now it has become the cup of nectar. Now this person has become a saint because samyak vyavasito hi saha. He is doing it exactly as being tuned to the reality, tuned to the truth. So this idea, you see that idea of something to be brought in with love, very important. There is a beautiful, very touching incident in Holy Mother's life. In Bengal, there everybody is given a beetle roll to chew after they take food. Whatever food they would take, but after the food is taken, a beetle roll is given to them. That is, it is not a custom here, and I am not going to explain much about it. But these beetle rolls are made with certain those leaves, beetle leaves, then those beetle nut pieces and so forth. And then they are made, one type is just very simple. The other is with some more delicious spices put in it. So Holy Mother was making these beetle rolls, and many were made just simple, and many were made also with special spices in it. And one of the devotees helping and doing it asked, why this variety? These simple ones and these specially spiced ones, what is this? And Holy Mother replied, these simple ones, they are meant for those who are devotees, they are our own. They are our own, for them the simple ones. And these special ones, spiced ones, well, they are for those whom we want to make our own. So this is the idea of embrace, you see, that yes, you are also mine. I welcome you with open hands, without caring what you have been doing, where you have been wandering, and what bad deeds you do. No, we will not check your past records, that there for the employment all, you have to, and they still, what is it called? Checking the record, something, the word is there for that. Background check. We will do the background check. And some person, it happened a few years ago, told me that she is applying for this job, but she had some problem earlier and she is not going to speak about it in the interview because if they know, they are going to summarily reject me. I tried to tell her, no, tell the truth, because they will, otherwise also they are going to find it out. And when they find it out, they will see that you have been dishonest about it. So your chances of getting job are less. But she didn't pay heed to that advice, didn't tell it in the interview because, and then she told, no, she didn't get the job, but then she has another interview coming up. I requested her, now tell the truth here that yes, this is the situation, but I am over that. I am not doing anything bad, means akin to that anymore. And so that they at least know that you have been honest about it. And then she was so happy when she got the job. The point is that it is the past, whatever it is, we don't need to disown it, but we need to see that my inner nature hasn't changed. It is same. I still belong to God. That's a nice song we sing here many times. We belong to God. It is that both in Spanish as well as in English, our Peter used to lead us in that song. In whatever way we may be, we belong to God. That is the truth, friends, that we must remember. We belong to God. We belong to God. God is always there within us, awaiting our turning towards Him. When we turn towards Him, He is there. The past, friends, does not count there. It is because of ignorance, that's all. It is just the ignorance. When you turn, that is by knowledge you see, by the truth you see that there is the divine reality. Our very own is awaiting to embrace us. So therefore, let us try to shed away. What should we be doing? Turning towards God. Is this, that turning away from our shapes, our differentiation because of the shapes, names and so forth, what we call in Vedanta Nama Rupa, that there are the 5 aspects of everything, as Sureshwaracharya mentions in one of his books. Sureshwaracharya was a disciple of Shankaracharya, that it is 5 things are the constituents of everything. One is existence, Sat, knowledge, Chit, and bliss, Ananda, and the 2 others are name and form. The first 3 are the truth, come from God. They are the God. The other 2 are product of ignorance. So, this is in treating oneself as well as others. We have to look upon this, that it is the form is one thing. The truth is this oneness. And when we hold on to that, there is this truth showering us with a lot of bliss, lot of love. So let us think of that. If we read the life of Holy Mother, life of Sri Ramakrishna, life of Vivekananda. Vivekananda was once entreated by one of the devotees, one of his disciples, Sri Ramakrishna's disciples. One of his brother disciple wrote to him that if you do this, all the bad people are coming. We must make a rule, no bad person will be allowed. Bad means with ill reputation and all that. And Vivekananda writes, what do you mean? Sri Ramakrishna, the God incarnates for those who are sinners, who are not good people, who have done many things bad. For them God incarnates. Let them all come, let all prostitutes come, let whosoever want to come, let them come. And I don't mind then if any so-called good person doesn't come. That is the language of Vivekananda. That yes, I don't care if no good person turns up. This is something that we must remember, friends. Very difficult, but this is the truth. Whether we like it or not, truth doesn't care. Whether it is easy or difficult, truth doesn't care. We have to stick to truth, friends. So, thank you very much. We will meditate on this idea for a few seconds, and then in case if you have questions, we can take up for discussion. Yes, any question?
Yes, Maharaj, one question from Charlie. Why did Thakur refuse to accept people of questionable character? Not always, but sometimes.
He did not refuse, he never refused to accept anybody of people of questionable character. He could not take food from them. In certain situations, he could not take the food touched by them because that would just endanger his embodiment. His body, which was made of what is called pure sattva, will not be able to survive that, and therefore he would not despise anybody of any questionable character. We see how many such people had come to Sri Ramakrishna. He did not refuse to accept them. He never said no to anybody, even during his last days. And he suffered so much of sickness because of taking the sins of other on him, but he did not desist from embracing people of so-called evil character too. It is, in fact, Girish Chandra Ghosh is an example. He even declared, had I known that there would be somebody like Sri Ramakrishna who would be forgiving everything, I might have committed more sins. Because anyway they are going to get washed, so it doesn't matter. But of course you have to see that he was a humorist also, and he was a dramatist and all, right? So take the essence of it. But Sri Ramakrishna did not refuse anybody from, and did not keep anyone away from his grace. Yeah. So friends, coming week, the programs, the Tuesday and Friday classes will remain as usual, although Friday falls on the Christmas day. Still we will have the our Friday Srimad Bhagavatam class in the evening, and on the Tuesday class will be as usual. The topic of discussion for the next Sunday is life of non-dualist. In between, on Thursday, December 24, it will from 7 to 8 p.m., it may go a little longer also, the celebration of Christmas Eve that happens here every year. Every year, a lot of people come, and it's a rather longish program. This year, it would be a shorter program, so there will be short worship, readings, music, reflections, and that it is. So, it will begin at 7 o'clock, and remember the entry closes at 7:05. The entry will close at 7:05. So, thank you. Let us conclude with the closing prayers. May the Divine, who is Father in heaven of the Christians, Holy One of the Jewish faith, Allah of the Muslims, Buddha of the Buddhists, Tao of the Taoists, Great Spirit of the Native Americans, Ahur Mazda of the Zoroastrians, and Brahman of the Hindus, lead us from the unreal to the real, from darkness to light, from death to immortality. May the all-loving being manifest himself unto us and grant us abiding understanding and all-consuming divine love. Peace, peace, peace be unto all. Now there will be arati and meditation after that.